everyone, and welcome back to Foot Traffic. I am so excited because today we have Sue Zimmerman on the show. You guys always ask for Instagram, and when I think of Instagram, Sue definitely comes to mind. So, Sue, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here today.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, can you explain a little bit about your background, your entrepreneurial journey, and how you had this massive pivot into, being one of the top Instagram experts?
Yeah, so I like to say Instagram educators. Yeah, so I have been a lifelong entrepreneur, have had 18 businesses, actually had, I don't know if you can see behind me, boxer shorts. I'm like wearing, that was my first $1 million business when I was 22. And I always had a knack for following trends, starting trends, and understanding what opportunities were out there for business. And I was a product person for a good 30 years of my life, selling things that I either made or manufactured, and subsequently started a store on Cape Cod. It was called Scooby-Doo. So I had this store for 7 years, and on my shelf, I've got like ribbon that I used to make with flip-flops, you guys. So a lot of products for Nantucket, Cape Cod, and the island. I live here on Cape Cod in the summer and in Boston most of the year, but I've been here for quite some time. And this is just like the shelf of all the businesses behind me.
I love it.
So I had a retail store. And before I had that store, I actually taught scrapbooking. In fact, I was on QVC teaching scrapbooking. I've had quite the journey of all kinds of businesses. And I always have been a visual thinker and really good at social media. I used to teach social media for the past 10 years. I've been teaching social media, but specifically Instagram for 8. And I was the mom at my kids' school that knew everything and taught all the moms all the things they needed to know so their kids could stay safe and understand how to navigate Facebook and all of that. And so with that said, I use social media for my store on Cape Cod, and specifically Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest at the time. And then when my twins told me about Instagram, I was all in, because I always say to follow the habits of your teenagers. They know the next trend. And they were right. So I learned everything I could about Instagram and started using it. Sales at my store increased so much, like 40%. And I ran a really good store. Like, it was only open 2 months of the year, and I did over 6 figures in a short time. And using Instagram just increased it that much more. And I realized that I needed to teach other small business owners how to have the same kind of success that I was having. And so it started very organically, honestly, from speaking at local colleges and women's groups, and then being asked to speak at different events locally. And then I was asked to be on a podcast. So I love podcast interviews because you can really amplify your message and get yourself in people's earbuds. And Michael Stelzner had me on his podcast over at Social Media Marketing, Social Media Examiner. And from there, he asked me to speak on stage 7 years ago on the biggest social media stage in the world. And from that, it took me to all other stages globally. And now I get paid a lot of money to speak on stage and teach Instagram marketing on a regular basis, in workshops, in person, virtually online. I now have a team of 11, and I focus on educating and teaching. And I have a big heart with creators and solopreneurs and women business owners and retailers, because I understand the challenges that so many people are facing.
Yeah. Now, especially now, right? So why Instagram now? Like, why in 2020, especially with the current economy? What are you telling small business owners?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always been go all in on Instagram, not just now, but we're busier than ever. We're selling more of our Ready, Set, Gram Pro coaching, high-end coaching and Ready, Set, Gram courses than ever, because if you have a business, you have to have an online presence. And Instagram is essentially a website. It has SEO, it has search. There are so many ways that you can show up and get discovered, from hashtags, from geotags, in all 4 of the Subi neighborhoods, I like to call it, feed, stories, IGTV, and live. And it's really easy to connect with other businesses and brands and amplify your message, your product, your service, your philanthropy, your mission. And I've been at it for 8 years and have grown a thriving business. And I teach other business owners how to do the same.
Yeah. So talking about your neighborhoods that you like to reference, out of the 4, so you have feed, story, live, IGTV. Where should we be focusing our time and energy? And is it different with different industries? What are you seeing?
Well, I always say you have to curate a feed that is, that proves you are who you are. Can I share my screen? Will people
Yeah.
see the visual?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. You want to give me screen sharing?
Oh, yep.
So I always say, I'm going to share my screen just to hit home with these points. I think it's really important.
Okay, cool.
Um,
And if you're listening to the podcast, we will link to this. We'll have it so you guys can see the video.
Oh, cool. Awesome, you guys. Yeah, you definitely want to jump in and check out this video. So I'm sharing my screen with not my calendar, with my Instagram account, the Instagram expert. So come over and say hello to me, hit me up in a comment thread or in the DM and say hi. But I always say if you're new to Instagram, and because now there's 4 places to create content, where when I started teaching, there was only one, the feed, it's more important than ever to understand where your audience is hanging out. But it's also really important to show up as the go-to authority in your industry, in your niche, the thing that you promise that you are in your bio. So on Instagram, it's so important to have a boss bio and say who you are, what you do, and the credibility around what you do, whether that's how many years you've been doing what you've done, or the awards that you've won doing what you do. And so when you are clearly stating who you are and what you do, that promise that you've made in your bio has to be represented visually in your feed consistently. And consistently looks differently for everyone. How many times a week can you show up and post? For me, it's 4 times a week in my feed, five times a week in my stories. But notice the consistency of branding with my branding colors. I have 4 branding colors and it shows up consistently. And you can really see the energy around who I am and how I teach. Mm-hmm. And what you see on Instagram is exactly the person that you meet when you see me in person. And I'm obsessed with hats. Often you'll see me wearing hats. Mm-hmm. And I'm obsessed with growing a thriving community and really shining the light on other people. And so you really get a sense of community, of lifestyle. I live here on Cape Cod near the water, and in my building in Boston. And you can feel more intimately connected to me because I show you aspects of my personality, my values, my core values, my interests, all while teaching Instagram marketing on a regular basis. So number 1, you have to have that content in your feed, and that's where you should start, always with the feed. Number 2 is going into stories. So your stories should absolutely match up to your values. My daughter shared with me this amazing artist, this quilting artist that's coming to Boston to the MFA, that I will absolutely be visiting her exhibit soon. And I'm all about color. I'm all about art. And you can ask an engagement sticker and you can get people to actually take action on that engagement sticker and be a part of the conversation. And I'm also giving organic shout outs to other accounts that I get value from, which is so important. I shout out artists on Instagram, and I'm always, doing a little screen grab of people's comments and the value that they get from the way that I coach and show up. And then, soft selling a program is by literally sharing what results my clients get. So I'm all about sharing other people in my Instagram account. And so stories support content that's shared in your feed, that amplifies the feed, that lives on forever unless you delete it or archive it. And if you don't know how to do that, I have a YouTube channel, SueZimmerman.com/YouTube, and I have a video for everything, like literally over 360 videos. But when you peek here and you also see my highlights, they're also on brand, on my brand colors. And whether you're tapping through my IG tips, or you're meeting my team, or you're looking at the praise videos, highlights, all of them literally are pieces of content. And so a lot of people don't know that you can share a highlight as a resource. These should be resources for people to understand how they can connect with you further. So each one of these highlights has its own unique URL. Every post has its own unique URL. And if and after you've felt comfortable with your feed and your stories, you want to start your own channel, your own broadcasting channel. That's what IGTV is. And again, if you're going to do it, it should be consistent and be on brand and feel organic to your feed and what you're doing and showing up online. And so a lot of my IGTV videos are about health and wellness. I have a degree in nutrition, so that's a big part of my personality, and you'll see that. You'll see me giving shout outs to some of the different tools that I use when I broadcast. And like I said, I'm obsessed with hats. So often in a hat or bright colors, and you really get a sense of personality, which is what people really want to feel connected to. And if you were to take this a step further, I tapped into the link in my bio and even look at my strategy guide. And this is content too. And my strategy, this YouTube video is all about my strategy guide. That's 11 pages. And when you go to my YouTube video, you can download this strategy guide, SueZimmerman.com/guide, and grab it. But I'm showing this to you because I really want to hit home with everything that you do online, no matter whether it's on Instagram or it's on your opt-in page or your website, it all needs to feel on brand and a part of the energy that you're putting out into the world. So even on a free opt-in where you guys can get 11 pages of understanding the neighborhoods deep, we put testimonials so that you see other people talking about this free guide. This free guide gets us 200 new email opt-ins every week. And those email opt-ins help us grow our business every day. Yeah. So we take every piece of content that we do extremely seriously, because it's not always about exchanging money. It's about building trust. It's about building credibility. And it's about showing up in a way that makes you memorable and stand out from everyone who does what you do. Right.
I love this. Can I ask you 2 questions real quick?
Yeah.
Is there strategy? I mean, there's always strategy, but is there purposely a strategy behind in your Instagram profile linking really back to YouTube? Do you want that crossover? Is that something you are doing on purpose, or is it just because you want them to watch a video and that's where you've sent them?
That's a great question. So my YouTube channel is our content. Oops, that's the wrong channel. That was my old one. Hold on. Our YouTube video is where everything in my business starts.
Okay.
And so
that's your core piece of content is YouTube.
Yeah. So if you look at the screen here, you will see we have almost 38,000 subscribers. And these videos that I show up and drop every Monday is me being the authority in my niche, is me giving free content. Every one of these videos has call to actions in them to sign up for our free training or download our guide. So they are essentially lead magnets to other opportunities to work with us. We want to get your email first. Okay. And we want you to know that we have a training that you can watch as well. So the guide is in every single YouTube video.
Oh, so it is like your main freebie. Got it.
Our main guide this is how we constantly grow our email list from YouTube. I do call to actions in every single video to either sign up for my free training or download the guide. Sign up for my training or download the guide. So even on this hashtag video, and I'm always teaching, every video has awesome, content for you to all learn from. But we either take you to my website where, all the links are here. Again, here's the guide there. And so some of the videos will go to SueZimmerman.com, 3 keys. Let me just type this in so that you can see, because I think your question is really good. We're never selling on YouTube. We're never taking people to a place to sell. We take people to a place to nurture and build. That's the wrong link, clearly. Let me stop.
Oh, you spelled your name wrong. You missed the R in your name.
Yeah. Oh, I did.
Yeah. So can you say that link again, though? It was SueZimmerman.com /
Yeah, SueZimmerman.com/3 keys. But that is our training. Let me just make sure that's still, we have a lot of UTMs.
And is that every single week you're updating the link in your bio to the next video? You want them to see Monday's new video, or are you giving them like a staple? I want them to start here.
Yeah. So this is the 3 keys free training. So this is a evergreen sales funnel where people join the training, and we sell courses every single day from ads that we direct to this and from YouTube. Your question about changing the link in my bio. So that is done every Monday.
Okay.
We upload a new video, and we often have two different links. One is the guide, and one is the training, the 3 keys to the training.
I love
So
this.
we are capturing emails both ways, depending on what people want. Do you want to sit and watch a free training? And again, this is a free training with all kinds of testimonials and where I've been featured, the credibilities here. And this sales funnel, evergreen sales funnel is pretty impressive and has been built over time, but it's always available for people to go through the training.
Cool. I love this. Now, with this YouTube strategy in your Instagram profile, is that same video being put on IGTV right away on Monday? Why aren't you directing them right to IGTV? Like I know
on YouTube on IGTV. I don't. Never.
Okay.
It's organic to IGTV. I want people to go to YouTube. YouTube has more Google juice than Instagram. YouTube is owned by Google. And so I get discovered on YouTube because of search. So we do not repurpose content anywhere in the same format. It's not recommended. It's lazy.
Yeah.
It's just, if you want people to go to YouTube, I want people to go to YouTube, comment, watch the video all the way through. I never share a YouTube video on an IGTV.
Okay. So this is so good, Sue. Like, you're blowing my mind right now. I knew I was going to learn something, but this is so good. So organic IGTV. So then my next question, and I'm sure my listeners are going to be thinking the same thing, is how are you spinning your wheels coming up with all this content if you're keeping them separate?
Oh my gosh, content creation is everything. And we have a content calendar, and I work very closely with my content creator in Trello. We're like 2 weeks out all the time, but we have a Google Drive folder. We batch our YouTube videos. So I did 10 videos in Boston a couple weeks ago. It gets us through like 3 months. So I do YouTube video recordings about 4 times a year, and we batch all of that, but I come up with content based on search and what our audience wants. Our audience is a beginner audience, mostly women 40 and older. And so we know the way that I teach really has to be dialed down, broken down in micro content that builds trust. And these videos are typically 5 minutes or under, so that people are not getting overwhelmed by my content. And they come back week after week, and then they binge watch, and either they like my Boston accent or they don't. Mm-hmm. And so I build trust, and they see that I'm like the real deal. I've been doing this forever. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. It's really showing up as your true authentic self, and with confidence, and consistently showing up teaching. And there's so much to teach. There's so many things to teach. In my Ready, Set, Graham Pro coaching program, that's the high level strategy. That's where my team and I teach you my Instagram direct message strategies that I've made over $200,000 in the past 2 months. That's where I teach you ads, and all the higher level strategies. Because the problem is, if you try teaching everything to everybody, you get nobody as a customer. So we know it's women 40, 45 and older that want to make an impact and use Instagram as a tool to amplify, promote, and broadcast what they sell. And every strategy that I teach is in our system of content, engagement, conversion. How to have conversions, whether it's join an email list, download a strategy guide, sign up for a training, sign up for a webinar. We are brilliant at making this happen on the daily like nobody else.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love this. So I love that you're telling people too, I'm batching, it's once a quarter.
Oh yeah.
With your IGTV, how often are you putting out content there?
So it's a little bit more challenging for IGTV. There's been a couple of updates with Instagram. One is when you go live, you can now save it as an IGTV, which I don't do or recommend, because you can't put captions on those videos. And putting captions and subtitles on videos is everything when it comes to retention. I will make exceptions. I am actually doing an interview with Trudy LeBron, who I met, and she is really, really versed in the space of diversity and equity and just this is a wheelhouse that I was never schooled in. And so I'm bringing her on my live to talk about inclusion and diversity and anti-racism in a way that aligns with me. And I will do that live, and I will save that in my feed. However, I will schedule it because I want to have my graphic designer create a cover image, because as soon as you go live, you have to decide, are you saving it or are you? And if you're saving it, you need to grab an image for the cover, and you need to be ready to save it with the kind of like value I want to save it as. My live broadcast on Mondays are almost an hour long. I would never save that to my feed. It's too long. And it's like, there's too much conversation back and forth. I bring on too many guests, and it's not organic to IGTV. For us, our retention on IGTV is typically 3 to 4.5 minutes. And that's it. So we know that by looking at our data and our insights. And I teach all of this in Ready, Set, Graham and in Ready, Set, Graham Pro. Decisions are made based on numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to track that information to know if it's worth it or not. So I love that you're saying this is our plan, but there's always exceptions. So now we're in a different situation. And I think this is an important enough interview that although I want the captions, I want the look, it's just going to have to be what it is, because it's more valuable for you to keep it.
It's more important for me to show my alignment with, the kind of work that I'm doing personally as a leader, and supporting other business owners that can amplify the whole messaging.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
It's important, I think, too, to be relevant and to do it now, and not be like having this great interview with Trudy and then it airs 3 months from now.
Right. No,
I want it now.
Yeah. So that's a great point. I was on this morning with my content creator, Kendall, before our pro coaching call. And I said, listen, I want to do this. I reached out to her in the Instagram direct message. She's like, great, let's do it today. I'm like, I cannot do this today. Not that fast, but I will do it Friday, and I will go live Friday, and I'll have a story around it Friday, who she is, why I'm bringing her on, what I've learned, what you need to learn. And what, and this is how you amplify and partner and collaborate and build a brand, build a business, build your followers with communities that align with you. And I'm all about community first. So
I love that.
Is exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm so happy you shared that. And one thing that you had said, in case anybody missed it, was after you go live, you have to make that moment decision on your phone. What screenshot are you grabbing? So you're saying you will have the graphic ready to go on your phone. So when you hit done, that's what you're uploading. So it is some prep work that you have to be
I'll have
about.
The graphic, and I'll have the caption, and I'll have the @ mentions and the hashtags. And we will think about you can't do alt text on videos, but all of the check marks that you need to take to optimize an Instagram post is really important. I don't just do it at the drop of a hat. I have someone on my team that schedules everything for me, and I didn't even run this by her. I just said, I'm doing it. So, because it is timely, and I really want to get the message out fast.
I love this. Okay. Anything else before we go that we should cover, or you want people to know about Instagram? Or really, I think a lot of people they're starting, but they're just not maximizing it yet. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, well, it takes time, and that's why. And people just go all in and then they quit. So like anything else in life, you've got to put the time, you've got to block your calendar, you've got to prioritize yourself as your best paying customer or client, or you will never go all in on Instagram. And I can't even begin to tell you how much money we make on a regular basis because of the strategies that I teach and the way that we show up. And it's fun. It's not hard work. It's just, you need to have a strategy that makes sense for your business, for your brand. And you need to just be committed and understand, you got to do the work. You got to show up. It's not like, let's get on Instagram and get all these followers and make all this money and do that the way that all these ridiculous people teach it, which is so not how I teach it.
And I think consistency is key. Like you said, back before I started Instagram, it wasn't normal for me to pull up my phone and take a photo or do this or that. And I literally had to have a reminder on my calendar every day that said, do an Instagram story, just to get me to remember to go back and do it.
Yeah.
Now it just becomes the norm. So you've got to get that consistency and you've got to put that time in before you're going to see the results. I
you have to flex muscles that you haven't been flexing and condition yourself. It's all mindset. And that's why it's like mindset's the first lesson in my pro coaching. It's literally, if you want to show up and make money online and on Instagram, you have to shift your mindset and understand what you need to be focusing on and what you can be shutting down and what you shouldn't do, what you should do. I mean, you're talking to a lifelong entrepreneur over here that's been hustling hard doing Instagram the healthy way, not the Gary Vaynerchuk way, the healthy way, which is work-life balance, baby. Take care of yourself first.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and that's who my listener is. I say all the time, I work 9 to 3. Like as soon as we jump off of this, like my work day's wrapping up. And that's the type of person that's listening who wants to be able to still grow her business, but at the same time, be able to be with her family afterwards and enjoy that and all of that. So we greatly appreciate you coming on and sharing your wisdom. We'll make sure to link to this YouTube video as well in here so people can see the screen share. The screen share you did was amazing. It's back to look at.
There's two more things I want to mention to your listeners. There's a series that I did for COVID, specifically how to make money or shift how to make money based on what you used to do. Because I'm going to tell you right now, what you used to do is not going to be the norm ever again. So I taught you what you need to do in your bio, what you need to do in your feed. That's one video. The second video of the series is stories. The third video is IGTV. And the fourth is live. You should link all of that.
Okay, I will definitely do that.
And that will help your listeners. And also, I really encourage each one of you to come over. Don't be shy. I always love action takers. Anyone that passively listens and doesn't thank the content creator, Stacy, like thank her for what she's doing, or come over and say hi, that's where opportunities happen, is in conversation. So if you're not actively having conversations with people that inspire you, educate you, inform you, or become your favorite resource, then you need to step up your game and make that a practice. Because I preach this everywhere I go. The reason you're not making any money is because you're not joining any conversations. All you're doing is pushing content, and you're not attracting content by being part of conversations. So make sure you give her a 5-star review and subscribe to her podcast, and tell me what you like the most or what questions that you have.
Yeah. And go check out Sue's Instagram. I want you to go there and do some homework and watch and observe the things she just said. There's so much good stuff over there for you to see. Where can we find the mini series? Did you say that link?
Oh, well, so that's YouTube is the four series.
Perfect.
But on Instagram, just a little ninja tip for all you people, if you search SBZ, my initials, mini-series, you will see 10 mini-series that I have created in my feed that is hyper niche content, like 3 days of hashtags, 3 days of understanding how to use Instagram from the desktop, 3 days of how to go live doing video. So I'm just going to confirm this hashtag before I hang up. I'm pretty sure it's SBZ mini-series.
The power of using your own hashtag, that you can say this right now and we can go find it and figure out where this stuff is.
Yeah, it's good, you guys.
So good.
Every one of these magical outfits I'm wearing 3 days in a row is, I mean, the reason I teach Instagram is just for the wardrobe. Just kidding. You can learn so much from just going into that hashtag hub and learning. Yeah, I've got nine mini series for you right in my feed. And you will love learning all of them.
I love it. Sue, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. Anything else or any other place you need to send them that they should go to?
No, I think if we send them anywhere else, we'll overwhelm them.
We've given them enough. You guys know where to go. Go find her. Go say hello. And definitely let us know what your biggest takeaway was from today. I have a lot. So Sue, thank you again for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome.